it's Gail the Planning Girl. Welcome back to my channel. Today in my recipe planner, I'm going to share with you the gluten-free flour recipe that I've been using for about 10 years or so. Now, you can go to the store likely and pick up an already made gluten-free flour or a gluten-free flour blend. I know even here in the very rural area where I live, there are a couple of different gluten-free flours at my stores. And of course, you can find those things online. But about 10 years ago, when I discovered this recipe, it was very difficult to find gluten-free flour blends, especially here in the very rural area in which I live. So let me share with you this recipe book. It's the Allergen-Free Baker's Handbook, written by Sybil Pascal. The sun's shining, isn't that awesome? And here she shares her recipe. And I'm going to use that because I have found that this gluten-free flour recipe works very well. And I would buy these ingredients online, typically at Amazon or from Energy Foods. Now, I can also find these now in my local store, but I have had to find them long ago and far away, back in the day before it was popular to be GF. We used to have to drive to find foods that were safe for our daughter. She has life-threatening food allergies. She also, like me, has celiac disease, so she has to be gluten-free. So this is a fabulous gluten-free flour recipe. It has 3 ingredients, so I'm going to add them here. Now, you saw me pull out from my recipe book the miscellaneous category, and I'm going to be using this Tombow pen to write gluten-free flour. I find this flour is really my favorite, and I have been purchasing flour blends at the store. I don't like them as much as this particular recipe. I think it is wonderful. I also find that if I buy the ingredients, I can get them in a case, like maybe a 6 or a 12 pack, and that way it lasts for a long time. So gluten-free flour, for fun, I'm going to put a cupcake, and I'm going to use a donut. I need a 3rd item. You can make bread with this. Should I put the hot dog? Is that gonna be weird? It might be. This was the mom sticker book that I was grabbing that out of. I might need to find one more. I'm also using all these little hearts out of this page from the mom as my bullets. So this is off to the side. As I said, there are 3 ingredients. If you can't find them in your local store, check Amazon. I know I have purchased them there in the past. I have not purchased them in probably 3 years. Our daughter graduated and moved out on her own, and so I can purchase mixes already ready that are gluten-free for myself because I don't have life-threatening food allergies. I just need to be gluten-free. And there are some very nice pre-mixed items out there, but if you need to be careful of other food ingredients, you might want to try this flour. So it is 1 box or 4 cups of superfine brown rice flour, and I find the Energy brand is fabulous. And it is 1 box because there's 4 cups in it. Energy also makes the potato starch, not potato flour. You need 1 1/3 cups. This is very fine. Don't sneeze when you're making this. And the most fine of all the ingredients is the tapioca flour. And again, energy makes this as well. You use less of this, 2/3 of a cup. This is very fine. So be careful when you're measuring. You don't want to pack anything down. You want it just to kind of be fluffed in there. I use a spoon to get the flours out of the bag and into my cup measure, and then I chuck it all in one container. I had a specific container that would hold this recipe and would whisk it around and just leave it in the fridge until we needed it. And when I had to make more, I made more. So I'm going to write the preparation. There's just really 2 things, and I'll be right back. All right, so that's the recipe. You do want to whisk these 3 flours together. I always put mine in a Tupperware. It just worked best for me. In her book, she suggests that you put it in a zip top type of bag. The difficulty is non-existent. The prep time is maybe 5 minutes. There is no cook time. You use this 1-to-1 like any other flour. So I suppose I'll write that over here at the side. I wrote just a couple of notes specifically for Sarah to use 1-in-1 in place of flour in any recipe. That Energy Foods makes these 3 flours, or at least sells these 3 flours, and for her to check Amazon. So there's my flour recipe. And it's going back into my planner. This is the miscellaneous section. Give this flour a try, and you might want to check out this cookbook. There are some very delicious recipes in here. I know Sarah really likes the snickerdoodles. We've tried some of their different cakes and cookies and brownies. Baking, always. I love dessert. So thank you so much for joining me. I put out a new video every Friday for food. You might want to check out my recipe playlist. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.